Good morning. All right, so this one is for those of you who look at your friends with really easy babies or really easy kids, and you think, that bears no resemblance to my life. Am I crazy? No, you're not. So here's the deal. I remember when my eldest was just born, and you know, one of my neighbors had a kid. She would just plop in that little car seat and baby would fall asleep wherever. And she'd just go out to lunch with her friends and do all sorts of stuff. Meanwhile, there I was in my house spending hours trying to get that kid to sleep for 1 minute, day or night. And if you're thinking, oh, well, that's because you should have just taken him out and about. No, no. Although I did discover at one point at the age of about 4 months old, he did actually literally like to sleep out on a beach. That was the only place that the child would sleep. Unfortunately, we don't live on a beach. And of course, it wasn't just sleep. Almost everything felt so much harder. I'd go to the play dates and all the kids would be happy, and there would be my kid screaming. And was it me? Was it him? Well, boy, it was so many things. It was the fact that my kid had had surgery at birth, which at the time I just thought, okay, you make it through surgery and then you're okay. That's over, right? Well, not so much. Our nervous system records everything that happens to us. So whether that's surgery or stress or anything else that's going on in utero, post utero, whatever, it's all getting recorded somewhere in the body. And it was getting recorded in his body and in my body. And so we actually literally weren't living in the same world that everyone else was living in. Just like we all have our own microbiome and our digestion is different and our bodies are different, we also have our own world. And based on what you were given as a child, based on your child, based on medical circumstances, based on your temperament, your child's temperament, your situation, all of us are literally living in different little micro worlds right next to each other. And this idea that your experience should look like the experience that is painted all around you, it's actually not true. And the harm that it does for us is immense. It's not so much that our lives can be harder sometimes because we have difficulty, but that difficulty is made exponentially worse by the idea that we think it shouldn't be there. If someone had just said to me at that time, hey, you've been through a lot, and there are other factors going on here that are making this legit harder for you, I think I would have melted into a giant puddle that might have even looked a little bit like self-compassion. I might have understood and stopped judging myself so harshly and stopped judging my kid for why everything seemed so much more intense. I might have felt a little less exhausted. I've spent the last 17 years understanding exactly what was going on for me in those years and in all the years after. And I do now understand. I now understand the why, and I now understand how we shift it and how we make it look and feel so much better. Because most of the time, most of us can make tiny little shifts that will make huge fundamental differences. But we have to understand the problem first. And then we have to know which shifts will actually make a difference. And you know what won't make a difference? Wondering why it's so hard for you and just wishing it were easier. Thinking that there's something wrong with you when there isn't. Your system is communicating to you. It's telling you that certain things need attention. And the sooner you listen, the sooner everything can quiet down. And you'll have your version of wonderful. And it will be yours. And it will be just right. I hope if you were one of the people who needed to hear that today, that you did. And now if you need to hear it on repeat, just press play. It's always here for you. Listen as many times as you need to. And then if you're ready to actually begin to understand and tell a new story, just reach out. I'm right here.